Say the word Rover and what springs to mind is a faithful canine companion, one who always chases the postman, always fetches that stick and always turns up for dinner at the same time every day. It's what you call reliability. It has been a long time though since you could apply those levels of reliability to Rover the car. But apparently all that is due to change with the arrival of the new Rover 75. I've got to say that this is the best looking Rover for absolutely years. In fact, it looks a little similar to the new Jaguar S-Type. OK, it looks very similar, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. But putting the S-Type aside, you can see there's more than a hint of the old Rover P60. That's the fantastic classic that Her Majesty the Queen likes to drive around in. Now, besides the retro throwback that this car has obviously got, you get lots of lovely chrome, shiny trim, just a hint of curve in the right places, strong flowing lines, and check out these wonderful mirrors. Oh yes, this car will bring a misty tear to the eye of many a nostalgic motorist. And the interior is just as stylish as well. Rover have really gone all out to be very bold with this car, and I do think it works. There's a nice use of shapes and contours. There's generous use of wood here on the fascia and also on the dash, which houses 4 air vents and the passenger airbag. Now look how cleverly as well they've managed to combine the old and the new. You've got deep hooded dials that are based on a classic watch theme, but a very modern satellite navigation system and a digital onboard computer. In a nutshell, or should I say one nutshell, the interior oozes class and comfort. And if you're the creative type and want a little self-expression, then you could opt for the club or connoisseur packages. These give you the chance to choose your very own two-tone leather upholstery. It's all a bit too much for me though, I'm afraid. Now this is the 2.5 litre KV6 connoisseur model. Now it pulls off smoothly enough, but once it's underway, it feels a little bit disappointing. The engine doesn't quite pick up as quickly as you would like. It feels a little bit lethargic. Now I haven't driven either the 1.8 or the 2 litre models, but the performance from this engine suggests to me that they may feel quite sluggish. But if it's not an extra kick of power that you're after, then the Rover 75 is a solid, reassuring drive. When you get the 75 up into the mid-range, it really does pick up, but it's not going to make the hair on the back of your neck stand on end. But it is good for cruising up the motorway or coasting along meandering country lanes. What equipment you get depends on what 75 package you go for, and there are plenty to choose from. And if it's extras you're after, then they're just there for the taking. Things like air conditioning, 15-spoke alloy wheels, an upgraded stereo, satellite navigation system, heated seats. The list goes on and on and on. But I have one question for Rover. Why, in a car that really is a luxury car, are there no electric windows for the rear passengers? The Rover 75 starts at just over 18 grand on the road for the 1.8 litre classic model, and that rises to around 26 grand for the 2.5 litre and the 2 litre V6. And that's good value considering the 3 litre V6 Jag starts at around 28 grand and the BMW 5 Series starts at around 25 grand. Back inside, the power steering uses servo-assisted racks with quick ratios. And what does all that mean, I hear you ask? Well, it makes the steering extremely responsive. It's light and it is very easy to handle. Yet it doesn't have any tendency to oversteer, nor does it pick up every single lump and bump on our lovely British roads. And the chassis on this car is very stiff, and when you combine that with the BMW rear axle, which has been especially designed for the 75, you get a kind of smooth, assured driving experience that's jolly nice indeed. The Rover is the kind of car you'd describe as solid. It's got a good engine, it handles well, it's certainly luxurious, and lots of effort has been made to return to the classic Rovers of the past. But there's still something missing. The ingredients are all there, but they just don't seem to complement each other. Now, whether you would like the 75 depends on what you want from your drive. If you want to make heads turn as you arrive in the executive car park instead of meandering in unnoticed, if you want to stroll instead of sprint, and if you want your interior to say more than your exterior, then it's probably worth a look. However, I can't see many creative types driving the 75, rather more your insurance brokers and middle management. And that's probably just the kind of market that Rover needs to attract if it's to retain that safe, solid and reliable image.